Hello, collective. So, this morning is an excellent example of how the messaging comes in odd ways. So, I woke up this morning thinking I needed to get ready for work. So, I got up and I did my normal routine. I got myself all dressed up. I drove to work. And I decided to get gasoline later because I was running a little late. So I get to work, first I was commenting to self at how there wasn't very much traffic on the road, and I pondered at it. And then I got to work and there was nobody in the driveway. And I asked myself, I'm like, is this Saturday? Sure enough, I looked at the clock and it was Saturday. And I thought, oh, for Pete's sake, right? So I decide to go get gas. And then I get on the freeway and I'm like, well, we may as well go for a joyride. So I get on the freeway and I'm driving. And what I got on today is my skirt. So I don't know if you can see that. I've got my beautiful little skirt on, my little skirt. So anyway, I'm wearing my leopard skirt or my, jaguar, whatever. And I come across a sign that says cougar. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to get off here. Since I'm wearing a spotted skirt, I need to go to cougar, right? It's all about kitties and stuff. So I'm driving. And then I come up to a T, right? You can't go straight. You have to turn left or right. But there was no sign telling me which way to turn to get to Cougar. So I made a right-hand turn. And the next thing I know, I come across another sign for the city going left and for a continuation into the forest on the right. So I make a right-hand turn. I get all the way up there and it dawns on me that it's Saturday and I'm supposed to be meeting with the people at my house because we're planting the three sisters today in my yard, which is the blue corn, the pumpkin, and the beans. So I make a U-turn and I head back home. And when I'm driving home, I look over to the left and there's this beautiful house up on the hill. But they had logged off the hill. And there was a whole bunch of little baby trees planted. But I saw that they had cleared the hill and built this beautiful home. And I said to myself and to Spirit, well, they're going to need a better root system if they expect that home to stay there. They need to fortify that hill with roots to hold it in place. And then Spirit said, did you get the message? Without a root system to hold our foundation firm, meaning if we're not purified in the fires, if we're not transformed in the cocoon, in the darkness, if we're not able to sprout and plant our roots in that space, then nothing else can exist. So it was like God was saying, we need more trees, as in people, as in deeply rooted people who have done their shadow work and can hold temperance while reaching for the sun and receiving their crown, their messaging system to come online, to be activated. The middle ground needs stabilizers. And so for those of you that are still in the root system, that haven't quite busted up through the ground or haven't quite received your crown, I just would like to deliver the message to you from Spirit. No house can stand on the mountain. without its root. And a lot of people perceive the root to be darkness, to be chaos, to be troublesome. But if that crown is not deeply rooted and holding temperance, nothing can stand. No house can stand. A storm will come through, the rains will fall, that soil will get wet, and it will just collapse. Everything built upon it will collapse. So if anybody is doubting the process of rooting in the darkness, of being transformed in that space before shooting up and receiving that crown, just remember the fact that you can still feel, the fact that you're still able to cry and have that internal shower to release, to release, to release, to wash yourself clean. The fact that you can still feel means that you aren't lost. And the process is painful and necessary. So don't give up. God needs you. And you will succeed. Nothing can stand without those root systems, and you will succeed, and you will get that crown, and that house will not fall down. So then I proceeded to come on home. And I thought, well, I need to go to Winco, get some snacks for my friends, right? And I made a wrong turn again. So I wound up at Krispy Kreme. And I went inside and I got a dozen donuts. And I said to myself, well, I suppose this is what we're going to have. And I brought out some tuna fish and some rolls from the freezer. And if the ladies want to have tuna salad sandwiches later, then we can do that as well. But it seems the whole fiasco of me rising, getting dressed, and going to work, and then turning off at Cougar to receive this message, to bring it here to you. Trust the process and make certain that you don't get lost in the mind while you're transforming and transmuting and cracking the shell, the code needed to plant those roots. God needs more trees to hold up the mountain. And that's the message.